What are these bookkeeping records you keep asking for? Whenever I take on a new client, I always ask about their bookkeeping. Are they doing the bookkeeping, or do they want us to do the bookkeeping? But sometimes, well, there's a bit of a misunderstanding about what bookkeeping actually is. In its simplest form, it's a list of your self-employed income, be it from remittance advices from your agent, student money if you're a teacher and people pay you, and also then it's a simple list of your expenditure. Technically, you should be raising invoices for everything, but I know a lot of people don't, so it will be a log of cash received or checks received from your students, and maybe any other type of performance income that you might have, it be it a profit share. But all these should have some kind of backing paperwork to equal what you have hopefully paid into a separate bank account for your self-employed business. You do have a separate bank account, don't you? The actual record is a simple case of keeping a list, ideally in Excel, of all those income types and the amount and the date and the tax year that it came into. And that's the listing we need for income. If you've raised invoices haven't been paid, we do need to know about those as well. You can actually do your accounts to the 31st of March. It doesn't make any difference if it's not until the 5th of April. With expenses or costs you have incurred, it's exactly the same thing. You'll have receipts or purchases you've made, hopefully made out to you, and hopefully with values on it, but that's subject to other blog posts. You need to list these down, ideally, again, in Excel, categorise what the spend is, and then you can file the receipts away. So in the simplest of forms, it's 2 spreadsheets effectively. You can also add in a mileage log for if you are doing any miles on a bicycle or a motorbike or a car. So if you're using that for your self-employed business, that also becomes part of your bookkeeping records. In theory, your working from home allowance needs to have some kind of backup. You'll need to know how many hours you've worked each month from your home if you're going to be claiming any costs for the home allowance. You also need copies to keep copies of your utility bills, your rent, your mortgage interest, and there's another method that you can claim the actual costs of working from home depending on the number of hours you have worked. However, this working from home allowance is only available to freelancers on a self-employed basis and not for directors of your own limited company. So just so you're aware of the difference, if you operate through your own limited company, you can only have the actual costs of working from home. So really, they are only your bookkeeping records. You should have a record of any capital items you have purchased, so a new piano, a new instrument. Yes, I know a piano is an instrument. It could be ball gowns or clothing for performances that might cost quite a bit of money and are used over several years, unless you keep on putting on weight. You'll have capital cost listing, and that you can claim a capital allowance on, but that's subject to a different blog posts. So the simplest method of bookkeeping is an Excel file showing a list of all your expenses, categorised into what it is, a list of all your income, a mileage log, and ideally some form of recording the amount of time you spend in your home on your self-employed business. A different blog post talks about how you keep these records, and we actually provide an Excel template for people that they can use when they come on board as clients if they're not too sure what bookkeeping really is. So I do stress having things electronically in Excel. You can keep it in a physical cash book. They still exist. It does increase the cost of your bill from us because we end up having to manually key all that information into Excel in order to be able to work with it. So Excel works really well. If you have numbers for Mac or Google Sheets, we can still work with them, but please put them in an XLS format. Thanks very much.